Brand new Fox News polls are out, and they're showing that Americans have serious doubts about government right now, our government. Just take a look at these numbers. 74% of Americans say the political system is not working the way that it's supposed to, and that compares to just 22% who say that it is. Ford O'Connell is chairman of Civic Forum PAC and worked on the McCain presidential campaign, and David Mercer is former deputy finance director for the DNC. Good to see both of you.
Good to see you, Jamie, and Ford as well.
Ford,
always, David.
All right, good. Ford, what is your impression, really, of these numbers and the lack of confidence that the government is going in the right direction or working at all?
Well, I don't think most Americans really care much for politics. I think what you're seeing here is they only seem to care about politics when it directly affects their livelihood. And right now, it deeply affects their economic livelihood. When I read this poll, I see 74% of Americans are frustrated with the economy, and 51% of Americans are saying, hey, my employment opportunities are not going to improve anywhere in the near future. And why has this occurred? Because of compromise based on political convenience. Until we fix the risk and uncertainty in the business environment, this is going to continue.
David, what I think is interesting is that 74% say not only is the political system in our country broken, they say it's gridlocked. And the question is, they're watching it in action because they're not seeing things getting done and parties agreeing. Where do you see it going with numbers this startling?
Well, I think the result of the numbers comes from, it's right on the record. You have the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, who has said two things. One is that, my main objective is to see that Obama is a one-term president. Secondly, as we saw during the debt ceiling debates, that it was worth taking hostage the economy to put a dent in the armor of the president. And those two things show, as Ford had mentioned earlier, yes, the people don't give much to politics, but right now we see the GOP playing politics to the point that it trumps economic policy. And economic policies that have been put forth by President Reagan, a Republican, when we've been in a recession, as when he was 10.2 unemployment rates in 1982, and we saw a high peacetime tax increase, or President Clinton doing the same to create 23 million jobs. And those efforts have been thwarted by the Republicans in order to prevent him from succeeding, and that hurts the economy.
Ford, let me let you in here, but guys, it's worse than that. You know, you say maybe people don't care the way politics are going, they might not even care about politics, but look at this poll. 51% of Americans say that uprisings in the next 10 years are somewhat likely. That not only are they dissatisfied with the way they're going, they're going to get out there and try to do something about it. What do you think, Ford?
Well, I think that's a very real concern, because what they're telling you is that their employment opportunities are not going to improve. And if we keep tax spending and trying to regulate our way to prosperity, this will continue. We really have to make a more business-friendly environment. And if we can do that, more people will be put back to work. Look, I'm an American before I'm a Republican. My top interest is not removing President Obama from the White House. It's putting Americans back to work and making sure that we do what's right and preserving our economy in the greatest country in the world.
All right, David.
And listen, we've given so much to corporations, and they are doing fine. They're at all-time profits. They got $2 trillion on the sidelines, and that money needs to go not in cutting demand, but adding to demand and hiring workers and putting more money in their pockets so that corporations can grow and put that money to work and off the sidelines.
So
we need to stop cutting the middle class.
Let me jump in, gentlemen, let me jump in, because, David, I need to ask you about this. The 74%, that first poll of Americans who feel that the political system is broken, not working, and gridlocked. I have to tell you, 82% of the people who say that are Democrats.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing here is whether or not President Obama, coming to this recognition and believing in the words of Mitch McConnell that he is going to do all that he can, be it hurting the economy or not, to get him to be a one-term president, that there is a degree of compromise, but beyond that, you've got to focus on the American middle class and doing all you can, despite what obstacles are being presented by the Republicans. And that's why you see the left wanting Obama to take the actions in a way that,
Finish, David. I'll let Ford weigh in before we
go ahead, David.
I wanted just to make the point that I think you see from Democrats and the left that Obama needs to step to the plate in terms of standing with the American middle class and getting those policies through that the GOP has been thwarting.
Right, and
hopefully
we'll
see that next week.
Ford, before we go, you talk about compromise, and people that respond, the Americans that respond, want compromise. The majority saying if they were in Congress, they'd find a way to compromise, even if they were in the White House. The interesting thing is there's one exception. The majority of Tea Party members say they would stick to their guns, stick to their priorities. What will happen? Will we see bipartisanship?
Well, I think we will see bipartisanship if we actually have wise compromise and really look at the things, as David says, that affects the middle class, like tax reform and entitlement reform. And if we get that and we get wise compromise that really benefits America in the business environment, we'll put people back to work and everybody will be happy again. And then David and I can go back arguing about Duke basketball.
Well, you guys did great. I think we had a very spirited debate today, and it's great to see you.
Good to see both of you. Happy Labor Day to you and the audience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly, it's yours.